Dear friends and subscribers, Namaskar. During this very pathetic COVID-19 pandemic situation, whenever you go outside, you wear the mask and keep social distance and avoid going and roaming around the areas. Be safe in your home. Fight against COVID-19. So in this session, I am going to talk about nanobiotechnology. Into that nanobiotechnology, we are going to say about nanobiometrics area. What are these nanobiometrics? And under that, we are going to discuss about one of the important concept of biometrics, that is DNA computer. We are going to see about the DNA computer, role of the DNA computer under nanobiometrics. Let us start the session now. So in this session under nanobiotechnology, we are going to see about nanobiometrics, and under nanobiometrics the role of DNA computer. What is this DNA computer? What is the role of this DNA computer? That is what we are going to see in this session. So what is this nanobiometrics? See that nanotechnology is making enormous breakthroughs using biology. So here you can see that the parts of the computer that can be replaced with the DNA. So that compose nature's nanomachines. The nature's nanomachines are lipids. Already we have seen lipids that do things, then proteins that will do things. Then the third one is DNA. Lipids, DNA and proteins. They are the small bits. They are going to do a lot of things, works in nanobiometrics. Then previously we have seen about biological computers. In that we have seen about the DNA computer, and in that the concept of biological computing or DNA computing, which uses a protein based 3D optimal memory based, that is a 3D optimal memory. It is based on bacteriorhodopsin, that is a pigment present in bacteria. So these biological materials are highly used in nanobiometrics. For example, DNA. It's a very important nanoparticle, DNA, that can be used as sensors in nanosensors and for making nano hinges, nano wires and nano glue, nano messages already there in nature. So DNA is such a natural nano machine, and that DNA is playing a very important role in nanobiometrics. So that DNA which is used in DNA computing or biological computing, that is the DNA computer, that has got a very important role here in nanobiometrics. We are going to see that one now. So before entering into this concept of nanobiometrics used in DNA computer, we must know what is a DNA computer, the basic thing. Already we have seen that. What is a DNA computer? DNA computers are small, fast and highly efficient computers, which includes the following properties. A DNA computer will have all these properties. Dense data storage is available in DNA computer. Massively parallel computation is there. That is, DNA computation is parallel computation process. Then extraordinary energy efficiency is there in DNA. So these are all some of the properties. They are advantageous to use the DNA computer for DNA computing. Then if you see that the evolutionary steps of the development of the DNA computer, the self-powered DNA computers, they unveiled in the year 2003. So first programmable autonomous computing machine in which the input, output, software, hardware, everything, all are made up of DNA molecules. So this DNA computer can perform a billion operations per second. See that speed, billion operations per second with an accuracy. What is the accuracy? 99.8% accuracy. So that is the advantage of DNA computer. So in the DNA computer, we are having molecular computing process, DNA molecular computation or biological computing or DNA computing process. So to be able to perform such an action, that is computation or computing, intelligence is needed. A role that is performed in this system by a DNA computer. So this DNA, which is used in DNA computer, is best known as a carrier of genetic information that is already there in the living cell. But DNA molecules are also highly suitable for performing molecular calculations. That is, DNA molecules are used for molecular computing or biological computing process. That is, it's a kind of calculation. Like you are having binary computing in a conventional computer. So that is an advantage of a DNA molecule. It can perform molecular calculations, molecular computations. So the sequence within a DNA molecule determines with which other DNA molecules it can react, which allows a researcher to program desired reaction circuits. So one DNA molecule, the components present in that DNA molecule is going to decide to which DNA fragment it has to react and how it has to behave. All these things a researcher can understand. Once he understands that, he can create a program. He can go for an algorithm. He can create his own desired algorithm, and from that he can produce a program in which a desired circuit can be formed, reaction circuit. So in the beginning, I have shown you a DNA circuit. So that is a reaction circuit which is created. It's a programmable circuit. So this is that circuit. You can see that circuit: output HIV, HA, multiplex, then OR gate. The gate concept which is used in DNA computing. There is OR gate, NOR gate. This is OR gate, NOR gate circuit, and this is AND gate circuit, and this is N AND gate circuit. Where you see that all these circuits are used. All these circuits are DNA based molecular circuits. DNA based molecular circuits. DNA molecules used in all these circuits. These circuits allow complex signal processing in antibody detection. In antibody detection, they are using this DNA computing. That these circuits are used. And already I told that in nanotechnology, DNA nanosensors are there. So these nanosensors will have DNA circuits. These DNA circuits, that is nanosensors in which DNA circuits are used. You see that these nanosensors are fixed in, you see that the rover which was already sent to our moon, the south pole of the moon, or any rover which has gone to Mars by NASA. See that in that rover these DNA sensors are there. These sensors will sense presence of DNA molecule on the Mars. So if they find out detect presence of DNA, then there is possibility of life on Mars. So all these sensors are fixed in that rovers. Here this circuit is used for antibody detection process. So you see that the role of DNA computer circuit here in all this detection process, nanobiometrics. So another useful substance that is which is related to a compound other than DNA is ribonucleic acid. RNA can be used. RNA and DNA both can be used. But RNA and DNA differ in three ways, and already we know that the basic. The sugar which is used in RNA is ribose, and the thymine is replaced by uracil in RNA. In DNA, thymine is there, T is there. But in RNA, instead of T, U will be there, that uracil will be there. So RNA is usually single stranded, but DNA is not like that, it is double stranded. So using DNA to build nanocubes and nano hinges. Nanocubes, nano hinges can be developed using DNA. They can be fixed in nanosensors and any other devices. So we commonly think of DNA existing only as the double-stranded helix, because it is there in the nature in double-stranded helix only. That can store genetic information. It can also be used to make structures, such as same DNA molecule, double-stranded DNA molecule. They can store the genetic information. That is their important function. Apart from that, they are used to make structures. What kind of structures? Nanoscale knots, nanoscale squares and hinges. For example, these two, that is a group of people, scientists, Seaman group, they have found a way to produce branched Y-shaped and cross-shaped junctions rather than just the linear double helix structure. Linear structure will be parallel arranged. Instead of that, you can produce a branched Y-shape or cross-shape. Using these structures, it is possible to construct squares, cubes, and even octahedra made just from DNA molecule. So recently, it was shown that movable hinge structures, they could be constructed from DNA molecule. So the DNA, which is used in these structures, rotates from one shape to the other shape in the presence of a chemical trigger. So here these DNAs are labeled Z2B rotation or B to Z rotation. So this device is being explored to see if it could function as another type of nano-sized motor. So it's a nanomotor. DNA is used to produce nanomotor, nano device, nano-sized motor. It will rotate Z to B, B to Z rotation. Here you can see in this picture, molecular models of DNA structures are used here in nanobiometrics. This first one is A is a nanocube, DNA nanocube. Using double-stranded DNA, you are making a cube. Second one, chemically driven, the molecular hinge, which is used in some devices. So this DNA will be shuttling between two forms, Z to B, Z to B. This is Z form, Z to B form or B to Z form. It will be rotating clockwise, anti-clockwise. So it is used in nano rotors, motors. Now you can see that DNA, which can be used as a smart glue. What is the smart glue? One DNA sequence can be designed to bind specifically to another DNA sequence, binding. And essentially, to none other, DNA can function very effectively as a smart molecular glue. It's called glue, means a paste, molecular glue that can be used to bond adherents, binding, to bond nanoscale objects. Nanoscale objects can be pasted with each other using this DNA as a glue. For example, here you can see that in the picture, using DNA as a clever glue. Here you see that gold nanoparticles. This is gold nanoparticles. Probe 1, probe 2. See, they are having gold nanoparticles. Are first functionalized using two different non-complementary types of DNA. This is one DNA and another DNA attached on this circle, nanoparticle. Because the DNA strands do not bind to each other, the gold nanoparticles remain separate. On addition of a strand of complementary DNA, the nanoparticles bind to the DNA molecule. Because of their close proximity, their optical properties change and red to blue color change is observed. So here you see that two particles are taken, nanoparticles, and anthrax protective antigen is also there on the surface, probe 1 and probe 2. And you see that these two, the gold nanoparticles will not adhere with each other, they will not bind with each other. But DNA strand is used here. DNA, double-stranded DNA is used to bind these two gold particles. Where you see the DNA strand is it is used as a glue, pasting glue. So DNA can be used to link gold nanoparticles to form structures of use against bioterrorism. Bioterrorism is that now China has used COVID-19 virus, coronavirus. This is a kind of bioterrorism. Bioterrorism. So using the self-assembly techniques, it is possible to coat gold nanoparticles with the DNA strands, double strands, that have a thiol attached to one end. Two different types of DNA are linked to the nanoparticles, that gold nanoparticles, and they are mixed together. As the DNA strands are not complementary, that is, they do not cross-link, the nanoparticles remain separate and stay in solution. When the third strand of complementary DNA is added to this mixture, the complementary strand binds to the DNA strands on the nanoparticles and cross-links them into arrays, and you will get binding of the nanoparticles, gold nanoparticles. So an interesting optical effect arises when the distance separating the individual gold nanoparticles varies. So when gold nanoparticles are well separated and dispersed in solution, they range in color from deep burgundy red to orange color, and finally to brown color. Depending on the size of the individual nanoparticles, the color change happens. So when these nanoparticles are in relatively close contact, or if the nanoparticles aggregate, they come close each other, the color changes to blue color, and then blue to black color. So in the present case, the DNA is going to used as a glue, where the DNA strand causes a cross-linking reaction. Not only it is a metal DNA nanocomposite material created, but there is also a color change due to the aggregation of these nanoparticles, golden nanoparticles, in the presence of the DNA strand. So this effect is being exploited in the development of a sensitive optical DNA test, DNA device, DNA nano device, in which optical DNA test is used. You can see the color change. So the same metal DNA nanocomposite material is being used to explore the ability of DNA to act as an electronic conductor. So DNA is going to act as an electronic conductor because it is linking two nanoparticles. So although still a controversial area, various researchers have noticed that DNA can act as a conductor. It is a conductor of electricity. Conductor or semiconductor or insulator of electrons, depending on the structure. Sometimes if the structure changes, it will become conductor or semiconductor or insulator. So if they can be proved, then this would add still another property to the utility of DNA as a nanomaterial, especially in nanoelectronics. If it is used in nanoelectronics, then the same concept can be used in the CPU of the DNA computer. In the DNA computer, the same nanoelectronics is used. So wiring up the nano world. So here you see that we are going to use DNA wires that is used in DNA computer. So DNA as wire template. Even if it turns out that DNA does not behave as an electrically conducting molecule, but sometimes it is acting as a good conductor. If it is not acting as a conducting molecule, it can still be used to form nano-sized wires. Wires can be formed from DNA. So in this case, the structure of the DNA is used to link two electrodes. So you have two electrodes, you can link them through this DNA molecule, double-stranded DNA. So the DNA is then used as a template here that can be metal plated to construct nano-size metal wires. So here in this case, we are going to use this DNA molecule, and this is made of the fact that it is relatively simple to obtain long strands of DNA, and that the cross-linking process can be used here to bind the DNA strands. That is, it is used to glue or bind the DNA strand in specific places. So two electrodes, once they are formed, in between the two electrodes, if a gap is there, a gap in between them, then the two electrodes were separately coated with two different short sections of DNA, short DNA strands called oligonucleotides, which were sticky. They are sticky strands, oligonucleotides. So these sticky towards the two ends of a long piece of a type of DNA that is called lambda DNA. The electrodes were then immersed in a solution containing these long strand lambda DNA. So these lambda DNA, the ends of the lambda DNA bound to these oligonucleotides on the electrodes and formed a bridge. It will connect them. So DNA is negatively charged because of the presence of the phosphate groups along the backbone of the DNA. That is why it is negatively charged. And it is possible to exchange the sodium counter ion. Sodium ion is positively charged, Na+. So it is a counter ion with silver ions. So the silver ions can be chemically reduced. The silver can be reduced to silver metal. So more metal can then be deposited onto the silver metal by standard silver deposition techniques until a conductive silver wire is formed. So the final wire is approximately 100 nanometer in diameter and 12 millimicron long in size. Here you can see the picture. Use of DNA as a template for growing nanowires. So atomic force microscopy, AFM, image of the silver wire showing 100 nanometer diameter. So this is a silver wire. See, this is silver wire. 100 nanometer diameter size. Here you can see a brief history of electronic devices used in electronics, nanoelectronics, from the first transistor through to the interconnections made from DNA. So previously you see that in electronics transistors, other metals, other chemicals are used. Now they are replaced with the DNA. So 1950, 1 millimeter size, first transistor was developed and the first integrated circuit was developed. 1980s, the size came down from millimeter to micrometer, 10 micrometer, 1980s. Now single electron transistor is used here, where this side quantum dot devices were used. Integrated circuit became quantum dots. In 1990, size reduced to 100 nanometer. That is a single electron transistor is converted into quantum physics. Carbon nanotube transistor. Here, quantum dot devices were converted into quantum coral. A copper quantum coral is shown here. After 2000 or after 2000, it has come down from 100 nanometer to 1 nanometer size, where DNA is used. DNA wire, DNA circuits. This side, quantum physics, carbon nanotubes are used. So this DNA is used in DNA computer, DNA tube that is used in DNA computer. Then here you can see that metal electrodes. So an illustration of the architecture of for a solid state quantum computer. It's a quantum computer based on 31 qubits in silicon. So this is a metal electrodes are there. Insulator, silicon substrates are used here, and on the in between that we are going to use electrodes. So here the qubits are used, and as B, this picture, Here, this is a 20 nanometer size. This picture is an H and silicon-based monohybrid deposition, pH3 dosing. Then hydrogen deposition, STM tip, silicon overgrowth. So a possible atomic fabrication route to the realization of Canay's design. A low defect density silicon surface is here, is passivated with a monolayer of hydrogen. Hydrogen is single layer on the top of the silicon layer. An STM tip here, the tip, STM tip is used to selectively desorb hydrogen, exposing silicon on an atomic scale, permitting only one phosphine molecule to adsorb at each of the required sites. Low temperature silicon overgrowth encapsulates the phosphorus here, silicon overgrowth. Then third picture, 1 nanometer size, DNA, which is used in DNA computer. STM images of two desorption sites before and after, left and right, phosphine deposition. The different shapes demonstrate single pH3 adsorption through a hydrogen patterned resistant. So here you can see that pH3 molecule used. So a biological nanotechnological future is there, where DNA computer is used in biology. So there are lots of lessons that we can learn from the nature, from biology. So we have looked at just a small sample of this work, the biological nanotechnology, where DNA is also used in the DNA computer. So the ideas that are being explored at the intersection of biology and nanotechnology is used here. So this is certainly not an exclusive list. So we have not even known a lot of things in biology and nano optics. So biomineralization. Here the use of DNA for computation in a DNA computer or any of a number of other areas. However, the point is not that the particular examples that we have looked at are the ones that will definitely will be used in new technologies in future. So the examples are shown to provide inspiration about the versatility of biological principles and to highlight some key points. So one of the most interesting discoveries is that with only a few basic building blocks, it is possible to construct an astonishing range of materials, small nano devices and nano structures. So using the 4 DNA bases in DNA computer, over 20 amino acids are the basic geometric shapes of lipids. It is possible to build the bits, build vast quantities of different bits or nanomaterials or nanostructures and scaffolds and even some functioning nanomachines. So the use of simple building blocks to produce more complex structures with new properties, it is the basis of nano architecture. So these new structures can then be used as building blocks to produce even more complex structures. So the mechanism by which this is done is a self-assembly of these molecules by nature. So the individual building blocks contain the information of the final structure that they will form. It is programmed into the three-dimensional molecular structure of the individual building blocks. So the trick is to learn the programming language of different molecules and their self-assembly process. So if we now apply these principles to the materials that we find easy to produce, for example, nanotubes, buckyballs, nanoparticles, metals and ceramics, nanocomposite ceramics, then we have already a toolbox that will enable us to develop many nanotechnological products, including biological optical devices that they are used in this very small nano sensors. So most importantly, there is the lesson of looking beyond the obvious and expanding our horizons outside the traditional boundaries of the individual scientific disciplines. So here perhaps biological principles can be applied to traditional manufacturing problems to develop a way of building a biometric system that builds the next generation of computers. So these would not be produced in $1 billion factory, but in a small that is beaker or in a test tube. So it may be very easily done. So we could construct a device that takes sunlight, builds itself, it converts carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into a valuable, usable fuel or carbon source, and as a bonus, desalinates the soil. At the moment, these macroscopic components or the devices, hierarchically they are assembled as nano devices, and they are used in mangrove trees also. So they work very well, but not in the high salinity farming areas where we need to do some research. So now the role of the DNA in nanobiometrics is that the structure of the DNA which is applied here in DNA computer. So that structure of DNA, the lipids or proteins are important. Then how nature forms self-organizing these molecules, supramolecular structures. You have to understand that nature. Then how the ion channel sensor works in lipids, the lipid bits. Then a biological on-off switch mechanism that can be made to work using a membrane by anchoring one gramidine half onto an electrode surface while the other half can move freely. Then how to make a biological computer, a DNA computer, where the bacterial rhodopsin is essentially a light-driven proton pump. So that is already there in bacteria, in nature. That is used in biological computer, that principle, concept. So the proteins are lined up inside the cell wall of the bacteria, and when it absorbs light, it transports a proton across the lipid cell wall. So by using bacteria in a cube and by placing two sets of lasers, green light and red light, at right angles to each other on two sides of the cube, information can be written anywhere in the three-dimensional space of the cube. So this computer operates on photons, not on electrons. It is based on photons. So that is called a DNA computer or quantum computer, quantum mechanical computer. So the structure of DNA glue, hinges and cubes, in which DNA is used as a glue. So it is possible to use chemical reactions. Even in that chemical reactions, the DNA strands can be used as glue in specific places. So virtually every living cell is powered by a myriad of tiny rotating nano turbines that is present in the lipid bilayer of the plasma membrane. That nano turbines are ATPase activity of this integrated protein present in the plasma. Friends, whenever you are going outing, you wear the mask by covering the nose and the entire mouth area. Hope you have understood this nanobiometrics and the concepts under nanobiometrics and DNA computer, the role of the DNA computer under biometrics. So with that, I am going to stop this session. I'll be coming back to you the other session. Until then, it is bye from KNS Biochemistry. Thank you very much. Namaskar.